During the abdominal crunch, you want to instruct the athlete to make sure they maintain a good flat back. During this exercise, they want to try to push their belly button through their spine. There's other variations that can be used, as well as crossing the arms in front, fingertips on the ears, or again, back to hands flat on the ground. Nice controlled movement is critical during this exercise. Really focus the movement in the abdominals, crunching up as far as possible. Alternating crunch is also an excellent variation. The athlete comes up into a full crunch position and alternates from side to side. Other variations of this exercise might be toe touches, feet straight up in the air, and touching the toes. You can move to a variation of alternating toe touches. Again, all of these are good variations to break up the monotony of the exercise. Knees at 90 degrees, fingertips on the ears, hands flat. Many different variations of this exercise can be executed. Weight can also be used during this exercise. Feet flat on the ground. Hold the weight like a steering wheel. Cradle in the chest and crunching up. Other variations of the weighted exercise might be toe touches. Feet up, trying to touch the weight to the toes. You can also position the weight behind the head as well. If doing this, ensure that you don't put too much pressure on the neck. Another variation of the crunch is the side crunch. This is an excellent exercise to train the obliques. The athlete lays on their side, fingertips on the ear, and crunches up as far as possible. Variations of the crunch exercise can be incorporated with using a box or a bench. Place a box at the athlete's feet and have them rest their heels on the box. Again, knees at 90 degrees, hands flat, crunching up. Physio ball can also be used during the crunch exercise. Just like the box or the bench, roll the physio ball underneath the athlete's feet, have them rest their heels on the physio ball, and perform the exercise. Bicycle crunch. To perform this exercise, the athlete will place fingertips on the ears, extend one leg out, bring one knee at 90 degrees, bring opposite elbow to opposite knee, and cycle through. Variations of this exercise can be incorporated with super slow technique. The athlete is moving really slow. This is an excellent crunch exercise while incorporating rotation in the movement. Another technique can be used as alternating bicycles, where you leave one knee up and really focus that crunch to the opposite knee. Sit-ups. During the sit-up exercise, the athlete will lay down, hands flat to the side, feet flat on the ground, anchored by another athlete or underneath a bench, knees at 90 degrees. Instruct the athlete to slowly and in controlled movement come up into a full sit-up position, keeping the hands flat in the ground. Slowly descend, back up. Variations of these exercises, the athlete can cross arms in front of the chest, perform the same exercise. As well as fingertips on the ears. Twisting can also be incorporated in this exercise by instructing the athlete to twist at the top of the motion. Weight can also be added by handing the athlete a plate, hold it in the chest like a steering wheel, elbows to the side. Again, controlled movement is critical during this exercise. Placing the weight behind the neck is also a good method. Just ensure that the athlete does not pull too much onto the head. When selecting the proper size of the physio ball for the athlete, it's important that you make sure that the knees are at least at 90 degrees. As the athlete rolls down on the physio ball, the lower back to upper back should be supported. Arms are crossed in front of the body, and they perform a controlled movement up as well as down, really focusing the movement in the abs. Other variations can be incorporated with fingertips on the ears, as well as a balance exercise where one leg is lifted off the ground. This obviously makes the exercise a little more difficult. Weight can also be added to the exercise. Holding the weight like a steering wheel in front of the chest and crunching up. This is a very small movement, but it's a very good movement in focusing the movement strictly in the abs. Lying knee-ups. During this exercise, the athlete will lie down again with hands anchored at their head, feet straight out in front of them. They'll pull their knees to their chest and roll their hips up. Kick back out, knees into chest, back out. Feet should never touch the ground during this exercise. Really focusing the movement in the abdominals. Pulling the knees up by using the abs. Knee hugs or scullers. Have the athlete come up into full sit-up position, hands out, knees close to the chest, and begin the exercise. They extend the knees out while coming down into a bottom of a sit-up position and bring the upper body and knees together. Physio ball sit-up. This exercise is performed just like the physio ball crunch, but a full sit-up is done on the physio ball. Again, instruct the athlete to come down to the crunch position, form a full sit-up. Hands on the ears. Other variations, the arms crossed in front of the body. Tempo is very good at this exercise as well. The 3 count up, 3, 2, 1, down. Weight can also be used in this exercise. Just like in the crunch, you hold the weight chest, all the way down, all the way up. What's good about using the physio ball is it allows the athlete to really get a good stretch of the abdominals. Really work through the range of motion while supporting the lower back. Physio ball V-up. During this exercise, instruct the athlete to come behind the physio ball on their knees, roll out into a push-up position, supporting the knees, and instruct the athlete to lift the hips as high as possible. Really focus the movement again in the abdominals. Lift the hips as high as possible, pause at the top, and then back down. It's also important that the athlete does not hyperextend the lower back as they come down in the bottom position. Physio ball knee-ups. Just like the physio ball V-up, instruct the athlete to come behind the physio ball, roll out on the physio ball in a push-up position, supporting the shins. Instruct the athlete to pull the knees in as far as possible, and then back out. It's important to try to keep the hips down as low as possible, really contract the abs, and pull the knees into the chest. A variation of this exercise can be done, a more advanced exercise, by lifting a leg and pulling the knee into the chest. What you do to one side should do to the other. Roman chair sit-ups. Instruct the athlete to sit on the Roman chair. Make sure that they can brace their feet, hands crossed in front of them, extend down and back up. Focus the movement in the abdominals. It's important that the athlete does not go too far down. The upper body should just come parallel with the ground. Other variations might be where the athlete has fingertips on the ears, as well as twisting, alternating from side to side. Weight can also be used for this exercise. Instruct the athlete to hold the weight in front of their chest, perform the same movement as the sit-up. Another variation of the exercise, the athlete can move one foot out from the support. This obviously makes the exercise a little more difficult, a little unbalanced. This is a much more advanced exercise. Lying leg lifts. Instruct the athlete to lie down and anchor their hands. Legs should be completely extended. The movement of the exercise is raise the feet as high as possible. Control the movement as it comes up and goes down. The feet should come to about 2 to 3 inches off the ground. Variations of this exercise can be incorporated with a medicine ball. Place a medicine ball between the athlete's feet and have them conduct the exercise. This obviously is a more advanced exercise with resistance. Alternating hanging knee up. This is a variation of the knee up. Again, using the same apparatus to hang from, the athlete will alternate by pulling one knee up and the opposite knee. You cycle through for the desired number of repetitions. V-up exercise. During this exercise, the athlete will extend the arms above the head. Legs are extended straight out. The athlete will bring the upper body and lower body together and meet in the middle. Again, this is an excellent exercise for training the core, the flexion movement. Other variations can be incorporated in this exercise by alternating. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Weight can be used during this exercise by having the athlete hold a medicine ball or a plate above their head and execute the movement. Remember to maintain good, controlled movements. Hanging V-ups. This is performed just like the knee up, but with legs straight. The athlete's going to try to pull the legs up as far as possible. Again, emphasize a slow, controlled movement to prevent the athlete from swaying back and forth. Assistance by putting your hand at the small of the back to keep them from moving back and forth is a good technique as well. Another variation of the hanging V-up would be the hanging alternating V-up. It's performed just like the alternating knee up, but with a straight leg. Again, emphasize controlled, slow movements to prevent the swinging. Really focus the movement in the abdominals. Weighted hanging knee-ups with a medicine ball. As the athlete performs the hanging knee-up, you'll place a medicine ball between the athlete's feet. Again, emphasize a controlled movement by pulling the knees to the chest. Medicine ball sit-up throw. The athlete will do a sit-up on the Roman chair. Now we incorporate a medicine ball throw to this exercise. You can throw the ball from side to side. To incorporate a little bit more of a dynamic motion. Physio ball sit-up with a medicine ball throw. This exercise is done just like a sit-up. Now we're going to incorporate a medicine ball throw with this exercise. The athlete might have to sit a little bit forward on the physio ball as you throw the medicine ball towards them. Toss the ball just above the head, and they use the momentum of the sit-up to throw the ball back. Good. Leg throws. During this exercise, the athlete will perform a leg lift. As they bring the legs up, the other athlete will throw the legs to the ground. Variations of this exercise can be done by throwing the legs from side to side. This is a great eccentric exercise in that the athlete that's doing the leg lifts has to stop the momentum of the legs going down.